Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our next Gather Community Creator Spotlight video. And today we get to speak to the amazing Elle Ballard. I connected with Elle a couple of years ago. I mean, we were kind of in the same circles, but we got to know each other starting a couple of years ago. And she's one of my absolute favorite people. The way, Elle, before I just even give you a chance to talk, the way that you show up, the way that you are committed to your mission, to your values, to the things that are important to you and that you bring to your community and to your work, totally admirable, totally inspirational, make me want to be a better woman and a better business person all the time, anytime we get a chance to work together. So I'm thrilled to have you in our community as a creator this year. I want you to just start by saying a little bit about you, what you do, who you serve, and maybe a little bit about how you got here, because I know that that's a rich story, which of course we don't have time for everything, but let's do a little bit of that because that's really interesting too.
Hi, Tracy and everybody. Thank you so much for saying those beautiful, kind words. And thank you for having me. I am so delighted and happy and excited to have this conversation, to be here today. My name is Elle, just like Tracy said. And I love working with you. I love being with you in all these communities, Tracy. The way you show up as well. So thank you. I'm excited. So I'm originally from Kazakhstan. I was born in USSR when it was part of USSR, so my native language is Russian. And now it's a separate country, of course. And I came here 20 years ago, and I had a small business in my country. And I always wanted to, when I came here, I knew how many opportunities exist in the US. And I knew I always wanted to have something of my own, to build something of my own. I didn't know what it will be. And went to finish MBA and then worked in corporate environments, which gave me great experience in marketing. Yeah, just a couple of years doing that. And while I was doing that, it's funny, you know, putting ideas out there. Okay, what is it that I want to do? Make everything from fitness clothes, right? Purses at some point, like a custom made, like all of those ideas in my head. And I remember having like a note, putting it all down. So I am happy that I arrived to building to be able to build what I'm building now today.
Let me ask you, so how did you end up coming here?
Yeah.
And I think it's related to your corporate journey, but tell us a little bit about how you got here to the States. And I know that you worked in like the oil companies or something like that. So tell us a little bit about that. And then you just mentioned that you were thinking about doing business in product. And I think a lot of us kind of start there thinking we're going to make this things to sell, but tell us how that shifted to what you're actually doing now in Women of the World.
Oh, I love that question. Yes. So my experience starts in oil and gas, just like you said. In my country, I used to work on the CPC project. It used to call Caspian Pipeline Consortium, huge project, very interesting. But then my husband worked with me. We used to work together, and he's from the US, and so that's how we met.
Okay.
And he used to live.
So you worked for the same company.
Yes.
In Russia or Kazakhstan.
Yes.
For the oil company, and he was American and you were from Kazakhstan, and you got married, and then you ended up coming back here.
Yes.
Gotcha.
That's how we met. And so he came here first. And then I just finished my project, and I joined him a year after. And at that point, and he lived in Russia actually, so he spoke my language, I spoke his language. He used to live in Russia for like 10 years. And anyway, so when we came here, I decided, you know, kind of, okay, oil and gas probably will change field. And that's where I started thinking, okay, maybe, and having a small business, right, in my country, I had a small business related to real estate in my country, having just tiptoed into that and having that freedom and the way you can build what you want to build, and, you know, just made me that, wow, I really enjoy that. And so having tried that, that's where it all started for me. And so coming here, I, you know, those working for different companies. And then, like I said, finished the BA and worked for software and marketing. And so your other question was,
so you were your thoughts were doing product-based businesses
Yes. Okay.
here,
Yes.
and that's not where you are now. So tell us about
Right.
that.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? So, and I might at some point open another business
I'm
in
with
Florida.
you.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's interesting. My journey, it started with a personal growth. So I was in direct sales industry. And so when I was plugged into personal growth and development, and I, by the way, I believe that's the best business school ever. Don't have to do MBA, just do that for a little bit. But having gone through personal growth and development myself, I felt that, oh, wow, how many people need that? How many women need that? And talking specifically about ethnic ladies, different ladies who come here, born here, but also local ladies, like how many women need that to have that transformation, and then really giving yourself permission to do what you truly want to do. Right. And so that's where I decided to do service-based, because I thought I can create more impact. And it just talks to my heart, seeing that transformation in women, and I just don't know if product can do that, or yeah, probably. Right. But yeah, so that's where the difference is.
I think, what you just said. So a couple of things that I heard you say. One is, network marketing companies are a great business school. And I completely agree. I have the same school. And because it gets you thinking about what's possible, it puts you into personal and professional development and training and mentorship, and like understanding that all those things are things.
Yeah.
Right. Even if you don't understand the value of them yet, or you don't have maybe the right mentorship for you, because it's just kind of given to you and you don't get really decide who it is sometimes and all that, but you learn about it. You can, and so you start on that journey, and then it gets you thinking about, what is it that I really want to do? It's a great starting point. And to your point about the product versus service, of course, people who are selling products can also be making an impact. It all depends on what it is. And, I used to say, I had a friend when I was in corporate who was an architect, and she ended up leaving our contract and leaving the business, because what her comment to me was, as she was leaving, that she wanted to make more of an impact, and she didn't feel like she was doing that remodeling office spaces. And because she wanted to do like mission trips and like things in other countries, and help, people who needed support in creating buildings in there, in a whole like different way, which was great. And it got me thinking about, well, I started like being defensive. Well, this is like, I'm making people have a nice office space so that they can make money, so that they can support their family. Like that was my thought, right? So you can have an impact there. But it gets you on that road of deciding what is the impact you actually are interested in, not the one you're just kind of creating as a side result, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So tell us about when you started Women of the World Network as a result, right? And you decided to create like you wanted to make an impact with women. What made you decide to create what is now Women of the World Network? And how did that start?
Yeah. So yeah, and let me just finish on that product versus service.
Sure.
I totally agree. You can absolutely create impact with anything, right? Because you put your heart and soul into it, and it's just not possible for. And I know some amazing products that are creating impact, and so we might add a product line to Women of the World Network.
Yes.
So the Women of the World Network was born, originated because, so I love cultures. I love when I talk to women from, it doesn't matter where from, I always get something new. I don't know, I just learn something, or even hearing her perspective on things, it just enriches you. So I always loved that. And when I came to US, I remember saying to my husband, I've never seen so many cultures in one place.
Yeah.
It's just all of this, and you need this and this, and the food you can actually eat. It might not be the same taste as it will be in the country, but you get a taste of it. Yeah. And so but at the same time, having gone myself through several points where I had to, several times in my life, where I had to start from point zero and
Mhm.
just kind of built it for myself. So coming to US, or after my divorce, or after switching from corporate to business, completely
Mhm.
different. So I wanted to create this platform for women to have that support. And you mentioned mentorship in direct sales. That's
Mhm.
also, I was thinking, being part of that, where you're not alone, you have
Mhm.
somebody's support and feedback, and
Yeah.
in the back of you, helping you, supporting you, that you can turn back to creating that community.
Mhm.
That I thought, how I can create something like that, but everyone can do what they want to do,
Yeah.
business that they want to develop, right? And but they know they have that support that they can turn for business advice. And personal fulfillment, as you know, is big for me too, so that's one of our pillars as well. So doing what they love, being personal fulfilled, but also something that brings them money,
Yeah.
and having the
So,
skills to do that.
yeah, absolutely. 100% agree. So you mentioned that personal fulfillment is one of your pillars. Go through the pillars and talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So we have personal fulfillment, which includes, everything, just going back to the basics, right? So identify what is it that for you that you are supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
And so it includes the exercise, such as strengths exercises, your zone of genius, so that, because when we love what we do, it doesn't feel like work, and we create a better result in the end. So that's the first pillar, personal fulfillment. The second pillar is professional growth or business growth, which most women in our community are business owners. So we provide resources and education to them to grow their businesses, and supporting them there. And then third one is global connections. And so we help create those partnerships, so that everyone in the community builds their businesses through these partnerships. And we feature these partnerships as well in the community that are created.
Yeah, so good. And I mean, that's one of the things that attracted me to Women of the World Network in the first place, was the diversity of the different people that you've attracted to be able to support each other and partner and collaborate. And, a lot of that just comes from getting to know each other,
Yeah,
right? So what do we need? We
exactly.
need an opportunity to get to know each other. So you offer that with your network. And I love that you often do highlights, not only of like member of the month or week or whatever, but you also do like partnership highlights
Yeah.
where, two people might be doing a workshop together, or one person might be, highlighting the other. And so there's that partnership that you really like highlight, whether it's on social media or in your communications and all of that stuff. I think that's great, because the idea of that collaboration, going
Mhm.
back to the mentorship and having support, right? It is something that whether you have your own business or you're in a job, a corporate environment, you have a boss, you're in a company somewhere where you're an employee, knowing that we have someone to go to, that their interest is only in a support place, right? There's no competition. There's no, and a lot of us are really lucky to have that wherever we're
Mhm.
at. I know in my old job, I was very lucky in my corporate job to have that same kind of support. Um, and at the same time, it gave me kind of that base, I don't want to say relaxation, but like comfort and safety to be able to imagine what's next
Yeah,
and imagine that kind of next dream, whether that was
exactly.
moving up in that company or ultimately it was leaving that company. But I was free to imagine that because they cared about me as a person and they
Mhm.
supported me. And so having a network like Women of the World Network, to offer that to people, especially if they're working on their own, is
Mhm.
really great as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So
Yeah.
the different opportunities that you're giving your members are, there's so much, right? You've got educational opportunities, you've got visibility opportunities, you've got teaching and like, I guess that's visibility again, but like in a whole
Yeah.
different kind of way. So talk about the different things that your members are involved in that Women of the World is creating for them?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have the flagship offer. We offer participation at any of our regional chapters, so can come to all of them. Every member has access to all of them. They can come. We have speaking opportunities at those chapters. We have speaking opportunities at business expos, which takes place once a month, and that's business focused, and so there is that opportunity as well. We also help them promote their webinars, workshops through e-academy portion of it as well. So those women who have their own webinars going on, or workshops, teaching sessions, they can do so through promoting there. And then we have a couple of cohort programs, which are upgraded kind of programs to create that visibility, right? So we have influence and we have the coaching aspect. So women, if they feel they need more coaching, they can get that additional program and join that additional program for coaching. And then the influence program includes our book, which we are about to release our second series. Yay, I'm so excited.
So excited. I mean, by the time this comes out, it'll already have been out. So go ahead and we'll make sure that the links get updated so that people know where to find it. I'm super excited about it. Keep going. Sorry.
Me too. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for updating the links, and check it out. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing compilation. It's going to be recipes for body, mind, and soul. So not only recipes for kitchen, but also for life. And so it's a beautiful compilation. And then we're starting to work on Women and Money and Influence book, which will be really awesome as well. I am so excited. So if your listeners have been kind of thinking about the project like that, let us know. I'd love to have that conversation. But if
what's
they
the
are
timeline
interested
for Women and Money?
Yeah, so this will be published. So we kind of do every book once a year, one book a year.
Mm-hmm.
And so this will be April 2023
Okay.
for publish.
Okay.
So yeah.
Great. So if people are watching this, there's probably still plenty of time to become a part of that. And I will share that, I haven't had a chance to be in one of your compilation books yet, but I've been in a couple of others. And I will tell you, anyone who's listening, that if you have any inkling of feeling like you are interested, you should find out more, because it's really fulfilling. It's really fun. It's really like you inspire yourself by what you can do. And it's not that hard, right? Like people think like make it feel harder than really it is. Writing a chapter for a book, a multi-chapter compilation book, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't take that much time. It doesn't have to be hard. One of my favorite things right now is that hard work doesn't have to be hard.
Yes.
You just have to be intentional and a little, clear on what it is. So doing a chapter in a compilation book, totally doable.
Yes.
For any of us who are in business or, we're a bunch of smart women around here. We can do things.
Yes. So, and we only do 2,000 words.
Right. So it's not that much. Yeah. And, so 2,000 words, I mean, I want to say that both of the other ones that I've done seem is around that same amount. It's like it takes several hours. And that's it. It doesn't really take a long time. I mean, you have to decide what you want to share. But once you're like, that's the answer.
Yes.
Then you can just knock it out. And then you do professional editing, and there's, all of that kind of stuff as part of the process with the book. And of course, the compilation book, the other big benefit is there's all the other women. So you're all supporting each other again, and with promotion. And, there's so much that you do from the compiler standpoint for visibility and everything. So it's a great experience.
Yeah. It is. And I wrote my first one in the plane, literally.
Yeah.
In like 3-hour flight. And then it was a baseline that I wanted to.
Right.
And when it's funny for me, like when I travel, I get my creative juices going, and I love doing these things somewhere. And so I put the baseline and then we develop. So that's what I recommend. But definitely it's totally not a big project. It doesn't have to be a big project at all.
Yeah. I feel like it's almost, to me, it's like you just kind of dump on the paper or on the computer. You just kind of put all your thoughts down and then, okay, how many words is this?
Yeah.
Right. And just find out, oh, that's 1,500 words. Okay. Well, I need a little bit more. Like, where could I add in a story, or where could I add in, something about a client or something like that. And, so if the topic speaks to you, women and money, and of course we're all women and we all have money in our lives.
Yeah.
So there's some story there somewhere.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. So I hope that people will take you up on that, because that'll be a great one.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that's exciting. Okay, so we talked about all your chapters. We talked about the fact that you have women representing 21 countries.
Yeah, we have 21 countries. Yes,
Yeah.
very exciting.
And what's great, what I love about the way you're structured this year is the regional meetings, because it means that you have things at different time zones. There's not really anything overlapping. So if you just want to go meet some new ladies, and even if they're a few time zones away, it's likely that you're able to fit things into your schedule. And I know my goal is to attend at least one, if not a couple of meetings a month. And, there's really only like one that's a challenge for me based on the time, and different people have different abilities, in their schedules. So it's great to be able to meet, new people and find out about their stories and their lives. And as, California white girl, I, have a very different upbringing from most of your international, multinational members. And it's fascinating. And I feel honored to get to know them better. And I'm so thankful that they're willing to share their stories so that I can learn more about the world instead of my little bubble that I grew up in, because I think it's really important.
Yeah,
so
I
beautiful.
agree. Beautiful.
Okay, so let's see. We talked about women. So let's talk a little bit about. Are you working with private clients or doing anything from an Elle Ballard coaching standpoint these days, or are you all women of the world all the time?
So most of the time, women of the world, yeah. But I do a couple of things that I do is personal branding. So I help women, multinational women, in which we actually do that in Women
you
of
do
the
that
World
through
Network.
the Academy, and
it's part of
right?
it's part of this Strengths and Strive program in the Women of the World. But I also do that as well. So helping them, identifying that who they are. So again, from that strengths perspective, what they want to do. And so all of those. So I help women do that. Yeah. So identifying that and bringing that forward.
Yeah, I think that's great. And like you were talking about coming to this country and getting yourself kind of understanding which direction you want to go in, because there are a lot of opportunities. And, I don't know about anyone, if you're listening, think about moving to a new country, maybe not being strong in that language.
Right.
And what do you do? Right. And so to offer mentorship in that place, like I could imagine, like if I were to go to Kazakhstan or to, anywhere, I don't know any other languages enough to be able to survive. So, maybe French, but so if I were to go to Italy, what would I do?
Yeah.
I have no idea. And to have an opportunity to just have a safe place for people to land and kind of take a breath and go, okay, what is it that I actually want? Because I get to decide. I don't have to just be in survival mode, being in this new place, not knowing where I'm at.
Exactly. And let me touch on that. So why I'm so passionate about this, right? Because of that double advantage. So when you were born in one culture and you come to live in a different culture, you start thinking for both cultures. At the core, of course, we are very similar, all humans, but we have our differences in upbringing, in beliefs, and just mindset. And so that's why I'm so passionate of just really using that as a strength versus, okay, well, I don't know, the language, or I don't know how to do this in this country, or so shifting that and really utilizing that double advantage and maybe unlearning some things. Like I have to unlearn some things, from what I knew back to where I used to live. It's completely different world. And so having that, but being in that space and then realizing what you can achieve after you actually done that. And I think a lot of women I see is they come and then they kind of don't grow, or they don't do anything beyond okay, so, and I get it, like they have the families, right?
It sounds
We,
like it
we
would be
take care
a
of
pretty
kids, we take care of
overwhelming.
parents. Yeah. So I think having that support
Yeah.
where, okay, yeah, this is what I want to do. How do I go about that? And we do have a lot of women who are settled, right? So
Right.
they came here a few years back. And so meaning they kind of settle, they know what they want, not that they just came back, which we will provide support if you just came back to the country. We have a few of those too, but not back, but just moved to the country, right?
Right. No, I understand. Yeah.
But
Yeah, I love it that you have, you say that you have people who are brand new to the country, people who have already been here for a while, and people who are from here.
yeah,
And the fact that everyone gets to work together, that
exactly.
like I was saying, I think that a person who's brand new to the country, I can imagine that would be really overwhelming. And we've all had those feelings of overwhelm in some way.
Yeah.
So even if we haven't had that experience, we can help them say, it's okay that you're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And let's take a second and think about what it is that is kind of keeping you from taking that next step forward. And again, offering them the opportunity to be seen and move forward from where they're at, whatever that looks like. So good. So good. Yeah. I mean, it's the support and that all of that, it's so valuable. And I'm super, like I said, I super admire you for what you've created so that you can change the lives of all these women so that they can feel more able to be themselves and step out into the world, wherever that may be today.
Yes.
So I love it.
Yes.
All right. Any final thoughts before we close out for today?
Yeah, I want to thank you again, Tracy, for having me. This was great in the middle of everything that we're doing. But I love how this takes me away from what I was telling you that's going on. So perfect, beautiful. I love this conversation. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being in the community and helping us, spread our message further. And I just want to say to all the women listening, if you are thinking about doing something that's in your mind, and that you really feel good when you think about it, you get energized. We have those things, we just get, I want to do it. Like we get so excited. Just do it. Just start small steps. Just start doing it. Because I remember myself, I was like, I had a notepad and writing it down and being in that space, but then start postponing it. So don't postpone, but start small steps, right? You don't have to like stop everything, but starting small steps, because that will get you going mentally and energetically, and you will just keep attracting that more. And so that will be my closing thought.
Yes. Well, and when you have a dream, right? I know one of your big dreams, and you started by taking small steps, and now you're taking bigger steps, and you're going to get there, right? We all have that kind of vibe in us. All we have to do is stop and recognize that it's there and take that small step, and we're on our way. So I love it. Thank you, Elle. Mwah. So glad to have you here. I appreciate you. And we'll see you again super soon.
Yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.